Chapter 1. Starting Your Day with English. Every morning, Tom begins his day with English. He has a small routine that helps him improve. First, he listens to a short podcast or a video in English while having breakfast. The topics are simple, like how to make coffee or morning exercises. He likes this because it is easy and relaxing. After breakfast, Tom spends 5 minutes reviewing vocabulary. He opens his notebook and reads the words he learned yesterday. He says them out loud and tries to make sentences. For example, if he learns the word schedule, he says, "My schedule is busy today." When Tom gets ready for work, he uses sticky notes. On his desk, he puts notes like phone, pen, and computer. These help him remember common words. While brushing his teeth or preparing his bag, he talks to himself in English. He says things like, "I will meet my team today," or "I need to write an email." Starting the day with English gives Tom a good feeling. It prepares him for work and helps him stay focused. He learns an important lesson. Even small efforts in the morning can make a big difference. Chapter 2. Using English at Work. Tom works in an office. His job requires him to use English sometimes. At first, he was nervous, but now he feels more comfortable. He follows a few simple rules to improve his communication. When he greets his colleagues, he uses short phrases like, "Good morning," "How are you?" or "Have a great day." These are small but important. They help him start conversations and build relationships. Tom also practices writing emails. He keeps his messages short and clear. For example, subject, meeting at 10 a.m. Body, "Hi team, we will meet at 10 a.m. in the meeting room. Please bring your reports." When Tom speaks in meetings, he uses simple sentences. If he doesn't know how to say something, he pauses and thinks. He says things like, "Let me explain," or "Can I ask a question?" These phrases make him sound confident. During lunch breaks, Tom talks to his English-speaking colleagues. He asks about their weekend, hobbies, or favorite foods. These casual conversations are great practice. Tom learns that using English at work is not scary. With small steps, he gets better every day. Chapter 3. Learning from Daily Tasks. Tom realizes that his daily tasks are a great way to practice English. For example, when he writes a to-do list, he uses English. Instead of "Di cho," he writes "Go to the market." Instead of "Don't fong," he writes "Clean the room." When Tom checks his calendar, he reads everything in English. He sees "team meeting at 2 p.m." or "doctor appointment at 4 p.m." This helps him learn time-related phrases. Tom also practices while shopping. He reads labels on products such as milk, sugar, or bread. When he pays, he thinks about how to say the prices in English. For example, "This is $5," or "The total is $20." At home, Tom practices cooking in English. He follows recipes on YouTube. He says, "I need 2 eggs and some salt." This makes learning fun and useful. Tom learns that English is everywhere in his daily life. By using it in small tasks, he practices without feeling stressed. Chapter 4. Talking about your job. Tom knows that talking about his job is an important skill. He starts by learning basic phrases to describe his work. For example, when people ask, "What do you do?" he says, "I am an office worker. I help my team with reports and emails." If they ask, "What is your day like?" he answers, "I start work at 9 a.m. I write emails, join meetings, and work on projects." Tom also learns to talk about his goals. He says, "I want to improve my English for my job," or "I plan to take an English course." These sentences help him sound professional. To practice, Tom joins online groups where people discuss work topics in English. He learns new words like deadline, teamwork, and presentation. One day, his manager asks him to introduce himself to a new client. Tom says, "Hi, my name is Tom. I work in the sales team. I am happy to help you with any questions." The client smiles and says, "Nice to meet you." Tom feels proud. He learns that knowing how to talk about your job makes you more confident at work. Chapter 5. Making English a Habit. Tom understands that learning English is not a one-time thing. It is a habit. He creates a schedule that helps him stay on track. Every day, Tom spends 10 minutes listening to English, 10 minutes speaking, and 10 minutes writing. He also learns 5 new words. He says, "This is my 40-minute English routine." On weekends, Tom watches English movies with subtitles. He chooses simple movies like cartoons or family dramas. He pauses to repeat interesting lines. For example, when he hears, "Let's go," he repeats it to practice pronunciation. Tom also practices with his friends. They play English games like 20 questions or Guess the Word. These games make learning fun. At work, Tom uses apps to check his grammar and spelling. He writes notes like "Don't forget the report" or "Call the client." These small habits help him improve every day. Tom learns that making English a habit is the key to success. When you practice a little every day, it becomes part of your life. Chapter 6. The Conclusion. Tom reflects on his journey. He started small, but worked hard every day. Now he can use English confidently at work. He shares his advice. Start your day with English. Listen to something simple in the morning. Use English at work. Write emails, speak in meetings, and greet your colleagues. Practice with daily tasks. Use English for shopping, cooking, and planning. Talk about your job. Learn basic phrases to describe your work. Make it a habit. Spend a little time on English every day. Tom smiles and says, "English is not just a language. It is a tool for success. With patience and practice, anyone can learn it." Chapter 7. Keep growing with English. Tom knows that learning English is a journey, not a destination. Even though he feels confident now, he wants to keep improving. He believes that staying curious and practicing daily will help him grow. One of Tom's new habits is learning from mistakes. When he makes a mistake, he doesn't feel bad. Instead, he asks himself, "How can I say this better next time?" For example, one day he said, "I am late because traffic bad." His colleague helped him by saying, "You can say, 'I am late because the traffic was bad.'" Tom thanked him and repeated the correct sentence. Tom also challenges himself by setting small goals. This month, his goal is to learn 5 new phrases every week. For example, he learns, "Can you explain that again? Let me check and get back to you. I need more time to finish this task." These phrases are helpful for work and everyday conversations. To keep English fun, Tom tries new activities. He joins a local English club where people talk about movies, books, and hobbies. He also starts writing a diary in English. Every night, he writes 3 sentences about his day. For example, "Today was busy. I finished a big report. I also learned a new word, teamwork." When Tom feels stuck, he reminds himself of his progress. He thinks about how he started with simple words and now can hold conversations. He smiles and says, "I am not perfect, but I am better than yesterday." Tom's final advice is, never stop learning. Whether you read a book, watch a video, or talk to a friend, every step counts. English is not just a language. It's a way to connect with the world. Chapter 8. Building Confidence in English. Tom knows that confidence is just as important as knowledge when speaking English. At first, he was shy and afraid of making mistakes, but now he understands that mistakes are part of learning. To build his confidence, Tom practices speaking in front of a mirror. Every morning, he chooses a topic and talks for 2 minutes. For example, he might say, "Today I will finish my project. After work, I will meet my friend for coffee." This practice helps him improve his pronunciation and feel more comfortable. Tom also practices with friends. They do role plays, pretending to be in different situations. For example, ordering food. "I would like a sandwich and a coffee, please." Asking for help. "Excuse me, where is the nearest bus stop?" Talking about hobbies. "I like reading books. My favorite author is J.K. Rowling." When Tom feels nervous about speaking, he remembers a simple trick: slow down. He takes a deep breath and speaks slowly. This helps him think clearly and avoid mistakes. Tom's turning point comes during a team presentation. He says, "Good morning, everyone. Today I will talk about our new project." At first, his hands shake, but as he continues, he feels stronger. When he finishes, his colleagues clap, and his manager says, "Good job, Tom." Tom learns that confidence grows with practice. By speaking every day and challenging himself, he feels more sure of his English skills. Chapter 9. Traveling with English. Tom dreams of traveling the world, and English is his ticket. One day, he decides to take a short trip to a nearby city where tourists often visit. This is his chance to practice English outside the office. At the train station, Tom buys a ticket. He says, "1 ticket to the city center, please." The cashier smiles and answers, "That's $15. Tom feels proud because he understands. When he arrives, Tom visits a cafe. He orders, "A coffee and a sandwich, please." The waiter asks, "Would you like milk or sugar?" Tom answers, "Milk, please." The small conversation makes him feel more comfortable. In the afternoon, Tom visits a museum. He asks the guide, "Where is the main hall? And what time does the tour start?" He listens carefully as the guide explains the history of the museum. Although he doesn't understand every word, he gets the main idea. Tom also meets other tourists. He asks, "Where are you from? And do you like this city?" These simple questions start friendly conversations. After the trip, Tom feels more confident about using English in new places. He realizes that traveling is not just about visiting places, it's also about connecting with people. He smiles and says, "English makes the world smaller." Chapter 10. Sharing Your English Journey. Tom knows how hard learning English can be, so he decides to help others. He starts by sharing his tips with friends and colleagues. He tells them, "Start small, practice every day, and don't be afraid to make mistakes." To reach more people, Tom begins writing a blog about his journey. He shares stories like how he learned to write emails or order food in English. He also posts tips such as use apps to learn new words, watch movies with subtitles, speak out loud, even if you're alone. One day, a colleague tells him, "Your blog helped me write my first email in English. Thank you." Tom feels happy knowing he made a difference. Tom also volunteers at a GAFE. Chapter 11. Setting New Goals in English. Tom understands that learning English is a lifelong journey. After achieving so much, he feels ready to take on new challenges. He believes setting fresh goals will keep him motivated and help him grow further. One of Tom's new goals is to pass an English certification exam, like TOEIC or IELTS. He researches online and decides to prepare step by step. He studies sample questions, practices writing essays, and takes mock tests. He says, "This is not just a test, it's a way to measure my progress." Tom also wants to improve his speaking skills to sound more natural. He starts focusing on idioms and phrases commonly used by native speakers. For example, instead of saying, "I'm very happy," he learns to say, "I'm over the moon." He practices these phrases in conversations and enjoys the reactions of his friends. To challenge himself, Tom begins reading books in English. He starts with simple novels and gradually moves to more advanced ones. He keeps a dictionary nearby to look up unfamiliar words. Reading not only improves his vocabulary, but also gives him insight into different cultures. Another goal is to watch English news channels to improve his listening skills. At first, it feels difficult, but Tom learns to focus on keywords and context. He says, "Even if I don't understand everything, I learn something new every time." Tom's final goal is to give back to the community. He volunteers to teach basic English at a local center. He enjoys helping others and feels proud when his students say, "Thank you, Teacher Tom." Sharing his journey with others makes him realize how far he has come. Tom believes that setting goals, no matter how small or big, keeps learning exciting. He smiles and says, "The more I learn, the more doors I open. English is not just a skill, it's a way to achieve my dreams."